Today we are going to be answering some questions about RV life and van life, so stay here with us. Let me introduce ourselves. We are Steve and Az, and we travel full-time in our self-converted camper van, so come on with us. The very first question is, obviously we live in a van. Isn't the van too cramped?
So, is the van too cramped? Actually, the van looks bigger on the inside than it does on the outside. Often people think the van looks quite small from the outside, but it's quite livable inside actually. It's a high top van and you're able to stand up.
A lot of these questions, at least the question about the van not being too cramped, comes from people that have bigger RVs, right?
Yes, or live in big houses.
We know other people that have small RVs and they agree with us that actually so livable. But I guess for people that have bigger RVs, for them it's already quite small to be in. And a lot of them are holiday makers too. They're not full-timers. So for us, maybe the next van will be a little bigger.
Yeah.
But this size is pretty doable for us.
The main time it affects it is, which it isn't so great, is when it's rainy all the time and you got to be inside the van all the time.
Yeah. Also, when I need to like fold clothes or tidy something, we start stepping on each other's feet all the time. So that's get a little interesting. So next question is about laundry. We obviously don't have space for laundry, not a laundry, but a washing machine and dryer inside the van. So what do we do? What most people do, right? People that live in apartments, we just take it to the laundromat.
And many campgrounds actually have really nice laundromats at the campground.
Some of them are cheaper than others. Some of them are not good at all. Like you spend a lot of money and it doesn't wash properly, doesn't dry properly.
Some take advantage, but generally you get really nice big washing machines and dryers that you can fit a ton of washing in, and generally it's pretty clean.
It depends on the RV park as well, I think.
It really does. One day we'll have to tell you about a story of a friend of ours, but we'll keep that for a separate discussion of
I think we would get
washing.
So much controversial comments if we did.
So stay tuned, we'll try to tell you the story sometime.
Yeah. Oh, also, we mostly stay at RV parks right now. We want to venture out. Like today, we just came back from our very first Harvest Hosts.
Yeah, it was actually at a golf course.
Cool.
A really nice guy called Wayne owns the golf course, and beautiful to wake up in the morning, the birds chirping.
Next question is, how do we get mail if we are on the road?
So we have a post box of sorts. So you can pretty much in any town rent a mailbox. And the nice thing about renting a mailbox, especially if you're traveling, is you can get your mail forwarded to you.
Which
your
is
post or your mail forwarded to you.
There was a time when we were in South Africa. Was it South Africa that we asked them to forward it to us, or were we in the US?
We're thinking of getting them to forward it to us.
But we called a guy.
They did actually. They forwarded it to us in South Africa.
Yes, we were like, can you forward it to us? And it was like, oh yeah, sure. So just make sure before you start renting a mailbox that they offer these types of services. It's a lifesaver. It really helps a lot. Plus, Amazon nowadays, you order some stuff, you can get it delivered to a locker. So Amazon isn't that much of a concern. But if you have like important documents and stuff.
Yeah. So you just raised something which you didn't go into detail. If you're on the road and you need to order something off, say, Amazon, you don't need to get that sent to your normal address. You can get that sent to an Amazon locker.
Yes.
And there's generally in all the towns around in the States and Canada, you go to the locker, you have a special code or you scan it, and then you just receive your item from the Amazon locker.
Yes.
And it's located in like 7-Eleven stores, Whole Food stores, different stores.
Next question is, how do we get internet?
How do we get internet? Oh wow, so internet is important, especially if you're working on the road.
Before we got to the point we suffered. Right now we have Starlink. But we're happy with it sometimes.
Yeah. So when you're working on the road, you have to have really good internet and you have to have backups. The few items that we can tell you about what we've used is we bought a router that you can put a SIM card in. But you can also plug external antennas in. So often in places you don't get good coverage, but if you plug in an external antenna, you can have a small one, which we have, or you can have a massive external antenna that you have connected to your rig, and that can help you get better coverage.
We're gonna drop the link in the description below.
Yeah, for this one or an equivalent, yes.
Yes.
So that's one thing. You can always have your SIM card in your phone and use it as a hotspot on your phone, and we use that as well. We've started using that instead, and we have a certain amount of data that we can use. We also, way back when, we also bought a really powerful Wi-Fi receiver. So if you're in a park or somewhere and you want to connect to Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi isn't that great, this helps you to connect to Wi-Fi further away.
Yes.
If the Wi-Fi speed is not good anyway, even if you connected well to that Wi-Fi, it won't do you much good.
We found that a lot of the times the Wi-Fi at the RV parks are not that great. There were very few cases where the Wi-Fi was like, wow. But as soon as it got to, like, let's say evening time, the quality of the Wi-Fi would decrease drastically.
Yeah. So onto Starlink.
It's great, but it's not 100% of the times. Depends if you have trees blocking your satellite dish and so on. Yeah,
so for Starlink, you need a clear view of the sky. And if you have any trees that are blocking the sky, you might get some interruptions. In order to have meetings and video conference calls and that sort of thing, you want a clear view of the sky. You don't want a campground that has tons of trees. No. That works very well for Starlink if we can find a clear view of the sky. That said, sometimes at night it does get slower. So I think Starlink, a lot of users use Starlink for streaming videos at night.
Yes, especially nowadays with so many people using it.
Yeah.
There are just so many full-time RVers that we know that use Starlink too, and you can see all the satellite dishes lined up on the ground. It's pretty funny.
And we'll try to do an extended video on Starlink and internet options, because there's a lot more detail that you need to know.
If you guys want to, tell us in the comments below, because we might be making something that you don't want to watch. Let us know if you want an extended explanation on any of these topics we're discussing today.
Yeah, and if you have new questions, put them in the comments below that we haven't answered.
We are gonna drop a link for you to be part of our email list.
Oh yes.
Because YouTube doesn't always tell people about the videos. Be part of our group, so we know when we put out new videos, and who knows, we might be sending you a van layout guide soon, because we are working on it, on how we built the van. So the next one is not really a question that we receive a lot, but it's something that we face a lot, because like we live in Canada, one of the most rainy places on earth. Dare I say that, because it's very rainy out here.
So how do we handle bad weather?
Very badly. We don't handle it well.
Well, let's say we don't like the bad weather in Canada, but rainy and snowy weather,
we don't take it nicely.
Yeah. So if you're going to have snowy weather, let's start with snowy weather first.
Which our van doesn't like either, because she's a fussy van.
If you have a rig with any piping underneath, you'll want to cover the pipes and insulate the pipes during the snow, because you do not want your pipes to freeze up.
No, that's one of the worst nightmares. And we are not talking only, like, sometimes you have the hookups, right? If you are at RV parks, and the hookups tend to freeze, but not only. Some people, like a lot of people, have the pipes freezing and bursting, and it causes a lot of damage to the RV, and you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, so be sure your piping is insulated and ready for snowy, icy weather. So
or at the very least, sorry, before you say, or at the very least, check the weather constantly. If you know that you will have below freezing temperatures, empty your pipes. Have like a bucket of water inside your RV. If you need like a bucket or a gallon of water, that can avoid, like, if your pipes freeze, at least they won't crack, they won't burst with all the ice.
Rainy weather, how do we handle rainy weather?
Well, rainy weather, it's more like getting on our nerves, because we don't get out much.
Yeah. So that's when
Yeah.
being in a small space isn't that great. What do we do sometimes about the moisture?
So this year was interesting because we used to have a big, like very big dehumidifier. We still have it, but it's in storage. It helped. It helped a lot. It really draws a lot of the moisture inside the little thing. But we didn't do it this year because it takes up a lot of space. But it's a very good one.
So there's two types of dehumidifiers. There's the condensation type, which is kind of like a
AC unit?
Yeah, kind of like an AC unit. I think there may be another type that's good as well, but in North America it seems like there's the condensation type, another type that does not use much power, but those are really not efficient. Yeah.
They would draw water,
a little bit of
but
water,
not much.
but if you're really wanting to get rid of moisture in an RV or van, get the type that has condensation technology, and it uses a lot of power, so make sure you have a lot of power for that.
And it will dry your toilet, and if you sleep with your mouth open, you might need to drink water during the night. But the downside is that it takes up a lot of space and power. I think we can go to the next question.
Cool.
Trailer or van? The other question is a travel trailer versus a van, a motorhome, a small
And in
motorhome.
other parts of the world, you may call it a caravan versus a van.
So the thing is that we had a trailer.
Yeah, it was fairly long. We used to tow it with the van.
We prefer the van big time.
Yeah, it helps to be self-contained. Towing and hooking up a trailer is a bit of a hassle for us. So we love the fact that we self-contained. And also the van is fairly small, so you can navigate to kind of normal parking spaces to an extent fairly easily. People sometimes enjoy towing trailers.
Yeah, we know
don't.
people that actually don't mind it at all, but for us, going up hills and down hills with a trailer in the back was a little,
Yeah.
we much prefer the van.
And if you're traveling between campgrounds or wanting to just boondock overnight, self-contained is much easier.
Yeah, and also when you're doing shopping, you have your house with you, you can just pack stuff straight into the fridge and freezer. If you need a toilet, you use your own toilet. You don't need to go to public toilet. I guess each one of them has their pluses and minuses. I don't know what your experience is like. If you have something you would like to add,
Let us know what you
let us
think.
know.
Are we being scaredy cats by not liking to tow a trailer?
Maybe we are. Maybe we just were born to have a motorhome and that's it.
So we're going to call it a day, but watch out for the next video.
We have more.
Yeah, but it's the next video.
Okay. And if you guys have other questions, please tell us in the comments below. We expect to hear more from you guys. We are gonna be going for now. Keep well, God bless, and bye-bye.